episode number 407.
The pandemic has been, it's very difficult for the country. And, and I lost my brother to the pandemic, and there's a lot of tragedy involved. From a business perspective, I think it's accelerated. I know our industry and several industries throughout the country and the world, for that matters.
Welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff, where we talk about life, dreams, social media, and business.
Well, hello and welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff. You know your boy is always fired up, ready to bring you a little fuego in your days, nights, weekends, or whenever you are listening to the show today. But after this show, I think you're going to want to think about the ways that you sell, the types of things you can do to sell, and the fact that we can sell remotely, folks. We can actually sell through Zoom, through internet, through FaceTime, through DMs, and so many different ways. And you can do that in a fun way as well. A way that brings in loyalty, it brings in, vibes, and it brings in, I would say, most importantly, some great company culture to you, as well as, let's just be real, helps you extend your brand at scale. Just like this podcast, we can extend our brand at scale. You don't got to come to me. I don't got to come to you. I can do 4 shows in a day. These guests would be tired as hell on planes just to come to do a 30-minute show. Instead, we can at scale do this. But before we get into today, take me back into your history, Tom. Were you always interested in sales? Were you always selling things as a kid?
It's funny. And thanks, Travis. This is awesome. A little bit as a kid, but really, when I got out of college, I was going to be in radio. That was my thing. And so when I graduated, I didn't want to do anything like sales jobs were available, but I didn't want to do it. So I just kind of found myself, and I guess like a lot of people do, you find yourself in sales. And I said, okay, well, this is my job. I'm going to try and make it work. And, and that's kind of what I did. My first sales job was selling wire to radio stations and TV stations and live sound. And it was, at first it was kind of weird, but I got into it and started learning, and then I ended up liking it.
And then at what point, because it looks like based on the kind of your experience as well, you dove more into the healthcare side of sales as well then at some point.
Yeah. So I went from doing cable and wire. I went up to doing finance, and so started financing equipment, and first for Hewlett Packard, or Compaq, then Hewlett Packard, and then American Express. And American Express said, we need someone to finance medical equipment. I said, okay, that's cool. I can do that. And so I led a team. I started as a rep, led a team, and here I am. It's healthcare it's a very fragmented, kind of crazy business. In general, financing it was interesting, and now being a distributor is just as interesting, to tell you the truth. But I feel good when I put my head in the pillow. At least I like to think that I'm helping people. Maybe not, me. I'm not the one saving lives, but I can get the products there to help save a life, maybe, or protect somebody, or whatever that is. So.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, that's what healthcare does. I mean, it really, let's just be real. I mean, people are living so much longer than we did 50, 70, 100 years ago because of something called healthcare, because of technology, because of the things they can do. And so obviously in the last couple of years, there's been a lot of people that have gone down the slippery slope of the wildness and the conspiracies and the craziness. And I understand to a certain point, because, hey, we've had a lot of unknowns. We've had a lot of things weird, but let's just be real. If we all cut our finger off right now and we go to the hospital, they're going to be using some modern technologies in healthcare to keep us alive and staying alive, etc. So if we have accidents, we count on that and never forget that. Just from even a simple thing like an ibuprofen that we get to take to help solve problems. 100 years ago, they didn't have these type of things, that we could just go pop in and take a flu medicine, or, I'm feeling a little throat. I'm going to take a little throat lozenge real quick, And so these are all forms of healthcare. So if you've ever taken any of that, I always say, you're kind of talking out of two sides of the mouth there. If you're taking an ibuprofen and you're not believing in, simple vaccines or things, it's kind of the same business, But it's really, like I said, the beautiful thing about this type of business, unlike a lot of other ones in sales, is that you are there for health and care. And especially in all different situations. And then obviously a lot of stories to tell from that too. But what point did you kind of explore, you're also I would say an expert or an influencer on, remote selling, on using, the ways of technology to sell as well.
Oh, yeah.
So many times people forget that this is it's sitting right in front of us.
Mm-hmm. What's interesting is healthcare, I think in general, healthcare sales in general is still, I guess, the last great frontier of kind of the carrying a bag and knocking on doors. And not that inside sales is new, but it's not as, I'll say, well adopted as some other industries like finance or definitely technology. I'm at McKesson, which is a big medical distributor. A lot of folks don't know us unless you're really in the industry, although we're a Fortune 7 organization. Inside sales, I'm not saying it's new, but I think the expansion and adoption of it is, I don't want to say new, but more, more prevalent now than it had been, even as few as maybe 15 years ago. What's good about, what it is that we can cover a lot of ground in a short amount of time. And truth be told, with the pandemic, while we've been doing FaceTime and not FaceTime, sorry, we've been doing, believe it or not, even though I'm getting on the call, but I doing Zoom and Microsoft Teams and that kind of stuff. We've been doing it for a long time. And a lot of our customers are like, well, I'm not really, they weren't as technologically advanced as we are. We're now with the pandemic, now everybody is doing it, and it's made our job better and easier. And now we have tools that we could show folks where it was a lot harder to do before. Which is great. We're doing a lot with video. We're doing a ton with, interactive like this. We'll pull up websites. We have tools that we can show them how to measure their spend and, how to get better outcomes. And it's really cool. And their manufacturers are now exploding onto it too. So even the manufacturers that we sell, they're getting involved and they're offering their expertise as well as our clinical people as well. So it's really, it's a good time to be an inside salesperson. That's what I tell my team all the time. That's my team, my managers. And so no, it's while there's, the unfortunate of the pandemic has been, it's, very difficult for the country. And, and I lost my brother to the pandemic and there's a lot of tragedy involved from a business perspective. I think it's accelerated. I know our industry and several industries throughout the country and the world for that matter. So remote selling, I think at this point, because the market that we sell into is nursing homes and hospice and retail pharmacies. And what happens is if you're knocking on a door, the truth is if you go from, especially now, I think it's changed with everybody being vaccinated and such. But if someone's going to one nursing home, to another, God forbid somebody has a bug or, a sickness, you could be spreading it. And so I said our inside sales team, we're 100% virus free. Even if they have it, they're selling via, video or telephone. So it's a safer way to do it, at least for the last couple of years. Now, I think with, kind of the cases coming down, it's been, it's not as,
seems like
not as big of a reason, but again, people now are used to it, right? So they're used to operating with less and that kind of thing.
And the ease and convenience of it too, right? Let's just be real. 4 shows, 4 guests, all over different parts of the world, all not in the same zip code, all parts of the country.
Right.
Sometimes they're overseas. I'm in one location, you're in one location. We record, we finish, we go to the next one, we finish, we record. This thing then goes out there on the internet forever. It goes out forever. And the craziest thing is it's just done at scale. No expensive plane flights and literally, sometimes there is definitely difficulties with Zoom. We know that, but beyond just some of the bumps in the road of technology or Wi-Fi access, or, you didn't have a great connection, etc. Beyond that, the ease that I can send you a link and we can start talking, insane. And I think that, that's the beautiful thing, even on the consumer side, as someone that say you're, wanting to get back to normal, let's start doing, hey, I kind of like just being able to do these, calls. And unless it's a really big deal, unless I really need to get into the trenches with them, I think more and more people will still keep with using the remote stuff because it's just so easy,
Oh yeah. For my doctor's visits, unless I'm going to, have something diagnosed, if I'm getting a refill or something, we do a quick telehealth visit. We do it via computer, and I'm done in 5 minutes. 10 minutes, however long it takes.
Versus waiting in the waiting room, going and driving. Shit, nowadays it might cost you $20 just to get to the damn place with gas. $20 there, $20 back. Not too bad there, and then but the waiting time too in the doctor's office just kills you. I mean, you sit there and, are you serious? I'm waiting in this room, and then I go to this room and I wait for 30 minutes. The doctor comes. This could all been done. The doctor sitting in his office, like you said, like in the telehealth, boom, 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 boom. He just saw 20 people in like an hour. And it's efficient for everybody. Hey, how's everything doing? Doing good? You need your refill? Okay, great. Let's go.
That's it.
That was it. Instead of 2 hours of wait time just for that. I mean, let's just be real. And and obviously in many cases too, I think that's going to happen, more and more.
Oh yeah.
Even for, serious stuff, they even talk about with this 5G being able to have ambulances with like repair arms in there, and they could be doing surgeries and like so many different things could happen at scale now, with technology and remote, basically doctors, remote surgeons, remote everything.
We have a new app we don't make it, but our customers are using it. It can diagnose wounds on your phone, and it'll tell you, the size of the wound, the depth of the wound, and what's best to treat it, so that they can get the right dressings for it. And it's amazing. It really is amazing.
That is
amazing.
Incredible.
It's amazing.
So we have to lean on that too. And I always say, if you get scared, well, any of us get scared of going and doing these new things. Maybe you haven't ever remote sold. Maybe you've never done things like that, and you get a little bit scared. And I understand it. It's understandable. Just push the damn button and have the meeting and see what happens, baby. That's part of being scared, is you just do it and just see what happens. You roll with the punches, you learn. You're not going to say everything perfect every single time, no matter if you're on $1 million stage or you're talking to one person, but you recorded it or you had the conversation, and you can learn from it and you can get better. And that's like anything, I'm sure, as we are going into a new world of technology, and this is the norm of many different things. I think that, the other thing about selling, I always say, is that you also kind of have to show your personality too. You kind of have to give a little bit, not, be a little bit vulnerable to show who you truly are. People get to know who I am because I change my inflections in my voices, and I kind of add a little spice, and then I'll bring it down, and I'll listen a lot of times. I'm spending quite a bit of time listening. But when I interject, I add my own little spice, and that in a remote setting, you kind of need those things too, almost over amplify some of those things just to kind of keep it alive too, because it's hard to keep that same conversation on a remote. Let's just be real. If me and my man Tom were having this in person, there would be a little different connection. I'd be able to shake his hand or give him the fist pump, wherever he feels comfortable with, and et cetera. And so we have to kind of, I think that's the other thing, is embrace it and not be shy too, because I think a lot of times people are a little bit more shy, a little bit more cautious in this remote setting, where we can be a little bit more vulnerable, a little bit more fun, a little bit, et cetera, when we're in person.
We're doing a lot with video now, and the first few videos, with even myself or my managers or my reps do, the first one takes a long time because my hair doesn't look good and I'm using my hands too much or whatever, and then as you get used to it, then it's like, okay, hey, this is pretty good. So I flubbed a word, but I corrected it, and it's okay, and customers notice it, and they're fine. So it works out well.
It's huge.
So get used to it.
It's huge, and like I said, it brings that extra level of camaraderie. And if you can do it more often, you can actually have a better vibe with your customer if you're able to check in on them. Hey, do a 5-minute FaceTime Fridays, or do something simple where it's just like, hey, how's things going? Do you need anything? Okay, good. Hey, have a great weekend. Perfect.
Oh yeah, no, we've had customers that have told us things on, remotely or the phone that they would never say in person. Never. We had one. This is actually kind of funny. I'll save the names to protect the guilty. But we had a customer, and this was a woman who was an administrator at a hotel. At a nursing home, and she was telling one of my reps that, I guess her bathroom had been busted in her house for a long time, and she was an older lady, and she was using a spackle bucket to go to the bathroom. And she told the story about my reps, and she's like, "You're not going to believe this. Nobody would ever say that to somebody if they're sitting across the desk from them." But they had a great relationship and felt comfortable telling that story. And I was like, "Okay, well, there you go." So it's just funny, and you just built those deep relationship, which is great.
Yeah, and there's nothing like it. And the biggest thing to never forget, guys, is if you are scared, just take a little action today. Is my biggest suggestion. If you've never remote sold, just try to start something. Just try to get something going, and learn. And you can do that with your friends, your family. You can start a podcast. You can do many things just to play and learn. But once you get comfortable with that, it's easy, because this is the future. I mean, I live sell my sports car business. We pop up like HGTV on an app, and we're selling the cars to customers live within a show period. this is the future. And learning the technique of if you want to call it remote selling, remote entertaining, remote conversation is a skill that it pays off, and in many ways. And it's a skill that you work at. But I think as we go forward, there's going to be more ways to utilize the skill. And so don't be afraid, baby. If your hair's not perfect, I need a haircut. Let's go. Who cares? Record that button. You ain't got no perfect hair. And getting over that thing, I think, is part of it too. But I love your passion and energy for this, because I think it's so important for people to realize that even in an industry like yours, that it's typically not the sexiest. It's typically, healthcare. It's typically one of those ones that a lot of regulations around it, a lot of, mandates but the ways that you can use it now, you're breaking down those barriers. You're breaking down those barriers for you and your team, because you're managing a team, baby.
Oh yeah. No, it's a great industry to be in. But yeah, you're right. It's a very traditional, very regulated industry. So there's some things you can do, some things you can't do, and a lot of things you can't say or promise. But you can still work within those guidelines, and then using technology to get there. It's critical. It's critical, and I have 60 reps and 5 managers that are doing it. So
there we go, baby. He's in practice. He's practicing with the team. But now we're about to take you into our top 10. Are you ready?
Sure, let's do it.
Apple or Android?
Apple. Oh no, Android. 100% Android.
Android. Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
Instagram or Facebook?
I'll say Facebook.
More
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, baby. Go to LinkedIn and follow my man on LinkedIn. He's got a big following on LinkedIn. Go check him out there. Chicken or steak?
Steak.
Laptop or smartphone?
Well, that's a tough one. I'll say smartphone.
Smartphone. You can do too many things with these damn things these days. Spotify or Pandora for music?
Spotify.
100%. Movies or video games?
Movies. 100% movies.
Movies. Take me away. Reading books or listening to books?
Listening to books. I listen to tons of stuff.
Let's go. Do you use Audible?
I use I listen on Spotify on my phone. That's what I do.
Oh, got you. Yeah, Spotify, man. So much stuff on Spotify, man.
Oh, yeah.
They're going deep, baby. They're going deep. Stocks or real estate? Stocks. And if you're thinking about taking a vacation, because we all deserve a vacation, my man Tom, oceans or lakes? Which one are you going to go to?
Oceans. Oh, I live by a big river here, but definitely.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So you get to see. There's like all this. There's this new research about water and moving water, and be able to see water in your day and how important that is in your day, whether that's a lake, stream, whatever that is. So that's cool that you live by a big lake.
Yeah.
There you go.
We're across the James River every day to work.
There you go. When you're waking up for your day, you're getting pumped, ready, energized. Why do you love being you, Mr. Tom Whalen?
I guess I love being me because I think that, I'd like to make a difference in folks' lives, whether that's from the products we sell or just bringing in, new salespeople and training them and getting them, started in their career and, helping folks get their first job in management and help them develop. And that's the thing that excites me. And that's what gets me up because otherwise, you're just working, So if you look at it like you're helping folks every day, which I believe I do, it gets me excited and pumped for the day.
That's awesome. And be able to see them grow, watch them go from the start to be able to be a manager or take over the role, baby. Take over your role maybe one day and you go to another role. You never know, baby. That would be the ultimate achievement for, to see them continually grow as we all progress. We all progress in this life. Do you think you'll ever retire from the game of healthcare marketing from remote selling?
I don't know. I say this to my wife all the time. I'll probably always do something. I can't see myself. I'm too fidgety. So I can't see myself not doing something. I'll always do something.
You have a lot of knowledge too that speaking and training and so many different things you can do also as well, obviously.
Yeah.
Consulting.
I'm sure.
There's millions of things you can do, baby. Do you have a routine on how you start your day? Do you have a routine on how you get your day going?
Yeah, it's getting up, kind of not too crazy. I'll just put a podcast on, jump in the shower, and then watch a little bit of the Today Show and then roll out. So roll in, depending if I'm home or if I'm in the office. Depends.
Nice.
So, I still kind of follow the same.
Do you find that you're still productive working at home?
Yeah, it is. It's the hard part for me is just I do have an office at work, but it's kind of schlepping my stuff back and forth. Like I have to bring more because if I'm there for 3-4 days, or if I'm here 3-4 days, it's bringing the stuff back and forth. That's the hardest part, but I can live with it. I can live with it.
You're right. Like bringing all the actual stuff that we need to get the job done, or paperwork, etc., back and forth, computers, etc. Is there a skill you're trying to master? Is there something you're trying to get better at?
Well, I think I like doing these podcasts. I'm trying to get better at talking and communicating better, and I hope I'm doing okay.
You're doing awesome.
But that's something I'm definitely working on. So
nice. So by going on more shows, getting guest appearances like the Be Real Show, and getting the opportunity to speak and talk about your story only helps, right? Like that's what it is. It's the practice is always going to get better as you do. More at bats.
Do
you have a favorite app or a tool that you like using on your phone or just in life and in the business?
I use LinkedIn probably more than I probably should, but I like Vidyard. Vidyard's a great tool too. I do watch a lot of TikToks. Don't make a lot of them, but I watch a ton of them. Probably too much.
You're on TikTok too. Let's go.
Yeah.
What kind of TikTok do you put together, Tom? I like to.
Well, I've only done I think like 2, and with my daughters, and I think I did an Elvis video once, which is fun. But a lot of stuff I watch is usually work stuff, or I'll watch whatever new dance is coming out or something silly. Also watch the kitchen hacks. I watch that a lot. So
yeah, a lot of interesting stuff that comes up on there as you discover new content, the algorithm working for you. If you could sit down and chop it up with anyone in the world, who do you want to sit down for lunch today with?
Wow, that's a great question. Who do I sit down and have lunch with? Maybe like I am a big baseball fan, so maybe Derek Jeter would be kind of cool.
Nice,
fun.
Our boy Derek.
Fun. That'd be awesome.
Or Derek Jeter, Topps Gold, baby.
There you go.
That's the top. Nice. Wow. That's the Topps Gold rookie, baby. That's the gold. That's the gold. They make the gold.
Yeah, hold on to that one.
Oh yeah, I love Jeter, baby. I love Jeter. I'm a huge I'm a huge fan of this guy too. Where's this guy at? Mr. Yogi Berra, baby. Yogi.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah. No, that's all. That's worth something. He's Jersey's own.
Yeah, I got a sports card business, man. So that's what we do. We do a lot of different things in sports card, grading the cards, selling them, live breaks, eBay, all that stuff as well. And love the hobby, man. We have to get you some cards, man. I'm gonna have to get you some cards. I'm gonna make some notes. Yeah. Derek Jeter, baby. Derek Jeter cards. Yeah. And the Yankees in general too. You like the Yankees?
Yeah, I love the Yankees. Although I've moved to Richmond, I haven't been a great fan. We do have the Flying Squirrels here, so
there we go.
I was a ticket holder last year. Yeah, so we're watching those. Watching them. So it's fun.
We go.
It's fun.
The farm leagues, baby. The farm leagues. Exactly. We got the Fresno farm leagues too for the Giants. We had they always change, leagues, blah blah blah. But yeah, we had the Buster Posies and the beginning of the great 3 years of our championships. The Brandon Crawfords and these guys, they were starting here in Fresno, man. Our lowly little Fresno Grizzlies. Awesome. It's fun to watch the farm teams, man, because they're professional baseball, baby. They're one step away from being the pros, and we saw it right here. These guys were the ones that took us to the championship 3 years in a row.
So the Giants farm leagues, the Squirrels of the Giants farm league here in Richmond, believe it or not.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Got you. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
dude, that's perfect, brother. So we got something in common, baby. Is there a book that has changed your life, or a book that you either reread or sticks to your soul?
I'll say one of the books that I probably lean on the most is from a professional perspective is I'm a Tom Hopkins guy. I mean, it was one of the first sales, not the first, but one of the first, How to Master the Art of Selling. And that one I keep near and dear to my heart, because it's the basics, and I quote it all the time. So I've read some that may be a little better, some that may be a little worse, but that's the one that I read all the time. I reread it and I talk about it constantly.
Right. That's when you know that's your hot sauce, baby. You're bringing it up in conversations, baby. That's your juice, baby. That's the juice. Exactly. Well, dude, I appreciate you because not only do you have an incredible experience, life, energy, passion, but you are pushing yourself to hop on podcasts, to take that next step in your journey too, because I think you have a ton of knowledge to be able to transfer for the future generation of healthcare leaders, inside sales, executives, no matter what category they are. And I think you're going to bring a ton of value. Can you give our listeners the best place for them to follow you? I think it's going to put them on LinkedIn, baby.
LinkedIn. That's the best place for me. It was just Tom Whalen on LinkedIn, and you check me out there. And I have a bunch of I have some articles I've written and stuff, and then just posts and things. And, I try to make it funny, and, I think it's interesting and educational and kind of a little fun. So.
That's what it's all. That is a great combination too, because that's who you are. That when you kind of embrace the who you are, that's what the Be Real Show is all about, baby. Because you can't be someone you're not. You got to be Mr. Tom Whalen. So we're gonna put that in the show notes. Please, folks, hit the show notes, and you will be easily able to follow that. Well, Mr. Tom, I appreciate you, brother. I like I always say, the world is full of abundance, and whatever journey and passion is next for you, I continually support you. I appreciate what you do for you and your team, and for all those that are out there that you're helping save with the healthcare that the McKesson delivers, as well as obviously all the great companies out there in the world of healthcare that are doing that and saving our lives and keeping us living longer, keeping our kids healthy. But dude, folks, you've been hanging out with Mr. Tom Whalen and Travis Too Tall and Up. We want to thank you again for your time today, and let's keep being real.
What another epic episode. And if you enjoyed the episode today, can you please do me a favor and subscribe to our podcast, The Be Real Show, on iTunes or your favorite podcast platform. And also take a little time today, if you don't mind, and give your boy T Huff a review. I would really super appreciate it. And thank you so much for listening today. Do you want to get featured on podcasts, guys? You can be a guest. And that's right. You have a story, and the people, the good folks at I Love Podcasts. That's ILUV podcasts.com. Do that every single day. This is a new company, guys, in the space of podcast agency, and they realize a lot of the people in the space it's just a commodity, and they don't care, and these folks care. And I literally love Kenny and the team at I Love Podcasts, and they are doing it right for their customers, so you guys can be a guest on a show. ilovepodcast.com. That's ILUV podcasts.com. Let's go.